Some people who see me worry because they run slowly. There are people who say things like this. Then I usually respond like this. Oh, is that so? Would you like to try running once? But when I actually see their running form, they're actually quite fast. This happens quite often when I talk to people. Then they say things like, when I play soccer or tennis or basketball, I feel really slow. So I always say this to them. Then it seems like your instantaneous acceleration is slow. That must be the reason. Would you like to try running as fast as you can from a complete stop right here? That's what I say. And then when I watch them run, it's often just as I expected. That sudden burst of acceleration from a complete stop, they just can't seem to do it well. Even though they're definitely putting in the effort, it feels like their body just won't move. And even if they start at the same time as others, it feels like they're a second behind. You've probably felt this at least once yourself, especially if you've played sports. You've likely experienced this even more often. By the time you decide to run, you're already way behind and end up missing your chance. In most ball sports like soccer, basketball, or tennis, this moment of acceleration, in other words, how quickly you can launch your body at the start, is a crucial factor that determines success or failure. But when you actually try to improve this important skill, you usually get two kinds of reactions. The first is you're just born with it, and the second is if you just keep training hard and consistently, you'll get there eventually. Of course, neither of these is entirely wrong, but there's a big difference between practicing blindly without knowing the method and practicing properly with an understanding of the basic principle. The results are completely different, especially when it comes to how quickly you can move over a short distance. Even just paying attention to a few simple technical details can bring about a noticeable change in just 10 minutes. Today, I'll be sharing everything from the principles to the methods, so make sure to watch until the end of the video. The key concept for moving quickly, F equals ma. You might remember learning this at school at least once. Can't quite remember it? Alright, I'll explain it in an easy to understand way. It means that force is the product of mass and acceleration. Conversely, if you want to increase your instantaneous acceleration, you need to increase your force. So you might be thinking, do I have to bench 500 pounds or something to build strength? Of course, having that kind of strength is definitely an advantage, but being able to exert force better means something else. It's not just about being strong or weak, but about how much force you can generate in an instant. Are you able to use all your strength efficiently, channeling it forward without any waste? This kind of proficiency is a very important factor. To do that, in addition to what I explained in the previous video, you need to pay attention to a few more key points to achieve that instant acceleration. Let me explain in more detail how you should move each part one by one according to each element. The first is the angle of your upper body. You can clearly see this when you watch 100-meter sprinters compete. Of course, this is done using the starting block. You can see that both while preparing and at the start, their upper bodies are bent forward significantly. They take a posture where their faces are almost touching the ground, leaning forward. Why is that? The reason is simple. Obviously, it's to run faster. By bending their upper bodies like this, their center of gravity shifts forward. Then gravity acts on this center of gravity. Because of this gravity, the whole body tries to move forward. So even without using much force, the body naturally moves in the direction the upper body is bent. This is the same not only in track and field events, but also in other sports situations. Although you can't use starting blocks, you can still lean your upper body forward as much as possible in the direction you want to go, gaining enough acceleration. In soccer, for example, you can see players bending their upper bodies forward when they break past defenders and sprint ahead. In basketball, when you make a sudden drive in and break past your opponent, you also lean your upper body forward as you move ahead. It's the same in tennis as well. Usually in tennis, there is a lot of lateral movement. When you need to move to the left, you lean your upper body to the left and dash out that way. In all these different sports, the moment your upper body tilts first and your center of gravity shifts, that's when explosive acceleration in that direction begins to happen. So when you need to accelerate suddenly and dash forward, you should lean your upper body sufficiently. And in addition to that, you need the power to push off the ground with your legs, the strength to lift your legs, the force to twist your upper body, and the strength to move your arm. All of these forces are needed to some extent. Let me explain each of the key points that create acceleration in more detail one by one. Second, pushing off. You need to push off the ground forcefully. I've explained about pushing off in a previous video as well. Basically, due to ground reaction force, when you push the ground with your legs, the ground pushes your body back in the opposite direction. But at this moment, the direction your legs are pointing is a very important point. If you look at people who are slow at sudden acceleration, you'll often see that their legs are pointing almost vertically to the ground. But if you look at people who are good at quickly accelerating in the moment, you can see that their legs move diagonally relative to the ground. There are some more detailed points to explain when it comes to sudden acceleration. It's about pushing the ground away in a diagonal direction. What does that mean? If you look at it from the front, instead of keeping your toes pointed straight ahead, you should keep them turned outward and push the ground away like this. you'll probably feel that your glutes are engaging more powerfully. Third, lifting. In addition, the leg that pushes off the ground will come up into the air. Then you bend your knee again and bring it forward like this. How strongly you drive your knee forward is another important point. After pushing off the ground, you need to lift your leg quickly and powerfully in that instant. At almost the same timing as lifting this knee high enough, the opposite foot pushes off the ground diagonally, propelling your body forward. It's extremely important to remember the overall rhythm well. That's a key point. Fourth, after the kick comes the point where you push off the ground. If you've lifted your leg high enough, you then bring it back down to the ground, pushing off with enough force to make a noticeable sound. That sound means you're striking the ground with greater force. As the speed at which you move your feet increases, your running speed naturally increases as well. Compared to just slowly placing your foot on the ground, when you push off, the key muscles involved, such as the soles of your feet, calves, thighs, and glutes, are rapidly stretched in an instant. As these muscles stretch and then contract again, you can harness even more powerful force from that rebound, kicking the raised leg back down to the ground with force. This is the key point to focus on when you want to add bursts of acceleration. Fifth, twisting. When you twist your torso and pelvis, you end up using your core muscles, the center of your body, much more than just relying on your legs. This allows you to generate more power. Naturally, your speed will also increase. As part of this, the diagonal pushing motion I mentioned earlier also comes into play, especially in situations where you start from a standstill or are moving very slowly and then need to accelerate, simply twisting your torso left and right. You shouldn't stop here. When you step on the ground with your left leg, tilt your body to the left. When you step with your right leg, tilt your body to the right. This slight shoulder tilt is called shuku. It's better to move this way. By doing so, your torso twists even more powerfully overall. As your twisted torso unwinds, you can generate great power. The strong force that comes from releasing your coiled torso. But twisting your torso to the side isn't just for this reason. When you twist your body to the right, more of your weight shifts to the right side. This shift in weight actually has two meanings. It might be just a slight shift though. The moment your foot lands on the ground, the weight of your upper body adds to the leg that's stepping down, making the pushing force against the ground, which I mentioned earlier, even stronger. You can utilize the elasticity of even stronger lower body muscle. Now, let's also consider the opposite situation. Your body twists to the left while your right foot is supporting your weight. From the perspective of your right foot, as your upper body leans, the overall weight on your body is reduced. Would we say that your body temporarily becomes lighter? With the same amount of force, you'll achieve a faster speed when your body is even a little bit lighter. That's why you need to actively move your torso when performing these actions. Especially when it comes to sudden acceleration, there's another important point to consider. The sixth point, arm swing. In short distance running or sprints, the movement of your arms is especially important. It plays a very important role in maximizing your speed, especially in the first step, how quickly and powerfully you swing your arms back. This has a huge impact on propelling your entire body forward. If you try running with your arms completely fixed to your body and only move your legs, or perform the motion this way, even if you keep your arms completely fixed, the recoil from your legs moving will naturally cause your upper body to move back and forth, and your arms will inevitably move as well. In this way, our bodies function organically to a certain extent. So conversely, you could say that how quickly you move your arms can transfer that force through your torso, pelvis, and even down to your legs. Especially when moving your arms backward, there's a movement called dips, like the one you do on parallel bars. Just like in that movement, your elbows need to be raised high enough to reach shoulder height behind you, while keeping your neck and shoulders relaxed and maintaining a gentle elasticity. Swinging your arms powerfully backward like this causes your torso to twist and your legs to push off. This force is transferred, so the power with which you swing your arms also plays a crucial role in how quickly you can accelerate, even in a fraction of a second. If you participate in sprinting sports, this is also something you need to pay attention to. So when all these different elements we've discussed work together organically, that's when you can achieve the best acceleration. Now, the theoretical part is actually a bit difficult. Let me show you a few supplementary exercises and let's try them together. The first is the arm swing exercise. With both arms naturally bent at about 90 degrees, basically, think of bringing one arm up to your chin and send it forward like that. The arm that moves backward is a very important point. Keep your elbow at about 90 degrees or even a bit more open than that. Raise your elbow back enough so that it comes up to about shoulder height. Cross your arms in opposite directions, then cross them the other way, moving them like this. But you can't just think of this arm as simply moving backward. When your arm moves forward, you can see it coming in slightly toward the inside, close to your chin. On the other hand, when it moves backward, the elbow opens slightly outward, so you can observe it moving from the inside to the outside, back and forth, in and out. By using a bit of elasticity like this, when your arm moves backward, your shoulder should also rise slightly. Doing this will help you move your arms with a good sense of rhythm. Next is a movement called lateral bounding. Stand while supporting your body on one leg. From that position, just jump as far to the side as you can. Earlier, I mentioned two key points, pushing diagonally and twisting your torso. These two elements actually work together and play a very important role in generating powerful force. You twist your torso to the side, and based on that, your legs push out diagonally. It's the same when you jump to the side like this. If you're not jumping very far, you don't really need to twist your torso. In this movement, the key point is to jump as far as you can. It's like gathering your strength as if you're collecting energy, then leaning your torso toward the supporting leg while twisting your upper body, and then turning your body in the opposite direction as you jump. At the same time, extend the supporting leg out to the side to maintain stability. If possible, make sure to apply enough strength to the supporting leg as well to maintain good balance. The key points to pay special attention to are when you push off the ground and when you land your foot after jumping. It's the metatarsal head of the big toe. The outer side of the foot near the little toe should be off the ground, and you need to push off the ground using the inner side, especially the metatarsal head of the big toe. It's the same when you land your foot on the ground from the air. Stabilize yourself by landing on the ground with your big toe first. Next is the standing posture. From this position, we're going to practice starting to run. For your back foot, lift your heel enough so that your toes are bent and support your weight on the front part of your foot. Basically, most of your weight should be supported by the leg that's positioned forward. You should lean your upper body forward overall. Place one hand near your chin. With the other arm, raise your elbow up to about shoulder height, and that completes the basic posture. From this position, with your back knee bent, straighten your knee forcefully and push off the ground strongly. At the same time, swing your arms in the opposite direction of your legs, crossing them as you move forward quickly. The leg that you lifted off the ground should then kick back down forcefully. If you practice this for just about 10 meters at a time, very briefly, even those who are not physically strong should be able to exercise without much difficulty. When you push off the ground, don't just move straight back. Make sure your toes are pointing outward as you do it. Shall we briefly summarize the content? When you need to accelerate quickly, if you lower your upper body sharply for a moment, push off the ground powerfully at a diagonal angle, kick the ground forcefully with your raised leg, twist your torso dynamically, and swing your arms back to about shoulder height, you will definitely be able to generate a burst of very fast speed. But actually in sports, things are a bit different. What I just explained was about how quickly you can move from a complete standstill. But in sports, situations are extremely varied. Sometimes you might have to move from a complete stop, or you might already be moving in various directions and then suddenly have to accelerate in a different direction in an instant. There can be all sorts of movements in different directions, but there is one key turning point. That is the split step. When you have to move suddenly from a standstill to the left, right, or even backward, how well you execute this step can determine even a fraction of a second. In fact, some sports already recognize the importance of the split step and place a lot of emphasis on teaching it, but in sports that focus mainly on running, it isn't really emphasized much. There are also a lot of misconceptions about the split step. In the next video, I'll explain everything from the detailed reasons for doing the split step to how to do it correctly. If you found this video helpful and enjoyable, please make sure to subscribe. Just like in today's content, I provide a lot of useful information that can help you overcome various obstacles in playing sports and enjoying exercise, so I recommend checking out the videos I've already covered for more references. Also, I generally focus on theoretical topics when creating my videos. I'm also preparing separate videos on strengthening exercises that you can easily follow along with just by watching. I've summarized those videos in a pinned comment, so please check it out for reference. Thank you for watching this long video all the way to the end.